All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. I am Carrie Campbell with the Dog Gurus. I am the head of programs. And if you're not familiar with us, the Dog Gurus help pet care businesses launch, grow, and profit through our online business courses and consulting products. We also offer staff training. So if you are in a pet care facility and you have staff that need training and onboarding, we have a solution for you. Before that we get started here, because I have a special guest with me today, I wanted to mention that our live event, the Business Breakthrough Workshop, is coming up in April in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. And it will be April 9th through the 11th. And I will post a link here really quick in the chat so that you can see that. And that will give you the opportunity to get a little bit more of information off of our website. You can buy tickets there. There's a link that you can go to and directly access the reservations for the hotel. This is going to be like the event of the industry this year. We're really excited about the keynote speaker that we have is Amber Burkhalter, and just lots of other wonderful sponsors and speakers there giving us some wonderful information to get you in a place where you can have new ideas with actionable steps that you can take back home and implement right away. So that being said, today I am super excited to have Anderson Amaral with me from SyncPet, which is a newer software product that is on the market. But I was just so excited when I saw it for the first time at the Pet Boarding and Daycare Expo in Hershey last fall. So got our schedules aligned and we are here today so that we can highlight his product. So Anderson, I'm going to start, just have you introduce yourself and the company itself.
Sure. Thank you, Carrie. It's a pleasure being here today. It's an honor as well. As you mentioned, we met earlier this year, and I had the opportunity of sharing a little bit of the software with you at that point. And so my name is Anderson Amaral, and I'm the managing partner at SyncPet. We are a pet software company developing software to help pet companies and pet businesses really overcome their operational challenges, right? I am located in sunny South Florida. Me and Carrie were talking a little earlier today, and like I said, I don't want to brag, but it is 77 degrees here today. A little windy, but we'll take it. Like it's as good as it gets here for South Florida this time of the year. So
well, excellent. Let me go ahead and share the screen here so that you can have your slides available. But yeah, wonderful. So what roles and experiences have you or have you had that have been significant in shaping your path to where you are with SyncPet right now?
Well, so I'd have to say like that my passion really is operations, right? I started working out of high school in hospitality, and I was involved in operation for a number of years. I started working in a entry level job, ended up making into management, and then when I got there, I really started working with different pieces of software in the hospitality industry. And it came to a point that I got pretty good with the software that we're using at the time to automate our processes. And a number of years later, that company ended up hiring me to work for them. I started working for them. First, I was just doing like support, where I would again pick up the call, help people to use the software. And then eventually I kind of got good at doing that. And then my boss was like, wow, he goes, you're doing well. I think that you could probably do some business development and sales. I'm like, yeah, I guess I could. I mean, I know enough about the software. I think I can, help people understand, what are the requirements and how it could help them. So that kind of took on a different role, and I just started really traveling like the country, doing that. I would meet with different clients, and this company, by the way, did business with a lot of big properties, big hotels, big resorts in Las Vegas. Like I've been to Macau and China and in Hong Kong as well with this organization, just in meeting clients, understanding their pain points, coming back, talking with my team and saying, hey, this is where they're hurting. What can we do to help solve their problem? And then we would go to the drawing board, kind of take upon what we already had, which was the building blocks that we had at the time. And then from there, build custom software to be able to solve the issues that our clients would have, right? And eventually I ended up, again, growing in that organization to, I became an executive. And at that point, I really I spent a lot of time around the software team, just helping come out with new features and just new ways that we can help the industry get better. So it was great. Like I said, from the aspect that I got to travel a lot, and then also just being around the software industry, being around the hospitality industry, and then really understanding pain points and helping our customers overcome them. And that's how, like, when I had the opportunity to join SyncPet, I really saw that the pet industry, unfortunately, we started with this product in the shelter space, right? And unfortunately, this area is pretty archaic still. I feel that the pet boarding side of it and the daycare is more advanced, but still the pet shelters are because of the situation with the finances, it's the way they're funded, right? But it's pretty archaic, and we felt that we could bring what we've learned over in the hospitality industry about customer first, about overcoming pain points, about the guest experience. So we felt that that would be a good way that we could contribute in developing software that could help the industry in that sense.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
can you provide a brief overview of what the pet business software is and its main features?
Sure. So for most part, what we're offering really is, we're not reinventing the wheel here per se, right? But we are trying to help do things a little bit better, in the sense that we are developing systems for operations that do boarding, daycare, grooming, training, in-home care. So the modules, that we have are mostly, covering those areas. But within that, like the software itself, it's built on a modern interface. Like we have a reservation platform in our software where it requires approvals, it requires forms to be uploaded. We allow forms to be uploaded by your mobile device. You can upload it from your computer. We're trying to be really flexible from that aspect. Integrated payment processing. You can process payments directly from our system. You can pay through just a web link using your phone. We do credit card on files as well. We take appointments, scheduling, digital agreements as well. They can be signed on the phone if needed to, signed on the computer. So for most part, like everything that you'd want in a software for a pet business, we're covering. In addition to some things that are very unique to to what we're doing.
So, what are some of those unique things that set you apart?
I'd have to say that one of the biggest thing that sets us apart has to do like with our software architecture. Because we've been around this industry in the software industry, I would say for a while, like we have seen like the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to software development, right? And we try to develop our software in a way everybody would understand will be almost like building a house, right? You have your building blocks, which is what you start off with, but your building blocks, they have to create like a sound foundation. It has to be like a solid foundation, right? And then once you have a solid foundation, then you can build a decent like building that could withstand some weight, and it could stand like for instance, like in a software world, like a many users, many transactions, right? And then with that, it kind of gives you the ability to be able to scale, right? And then you can kind of build that mansion or build that skyscraper if you want to. So that's the first thing that we did. Like we're really developing the features, like thinking about the future, right? So that's how like the software is built. And with that, the core of our software really is a task management system, and everything was built around that, right? Because like I said, operations was really like the one thing that we wanted to focus on. One thing that I learned like in software is that you can always just build software to build it, but if you can solve a problem with your software, then you have a bigger chance of getting more people to use it. And that's really what we wanted to do when we built this task management solution, and everything that we do kind of intertwines into it. So one thing that we focused on really heavily too was mobility. So a lot of our solutions are intertwining with mobile devices. So we have an operational app that the facilities could use to operate and do their tasks and track items. We've also developed some apps for the end user, which in this case would be the pet parents, which again integrates with the existing system at the facilities. And then we've built a retail store that's linked to the pet parent app and that talks directly with the operations app. So the things that you do within your operation, you are able to share it directly to the pet parent on the app if you want to. It's an option, right? You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you wanted to, you can. And then the last thing that I think that we worked really hard on, and I believe that it's been useful, is that we created a platform to communicate very easily and in a cost-effective way. So SMS, right, text messages came and they really like revolutionized, the industry. And then I'm going to say across the board in hospitality, like today, you can actually like order something directly to your room through a text message, right? And in the same sense, there's still a lot of companies that are working with that technology, and so are we, but there's a cost with that, right? It's not a free technology. And if you send a lot of messages throughout your operation, it could get costly to do so. So we've developed different features in the software that you can communicate back and forth with your clients, with your staff, just by using the technology in the app, which is considered to be push notification. So it's a messaging service that's provided by Apple and by Samsung, by Google, right? So it's basically you're talking from app to app, and you don't have to necessarily use SMS for that. And that way, we're able to bring savings, right, to our customers who use that solution. And and I know that being a small business owner, every little bit counts. If you can save a little bit of money at the end of the year, adds up to be a lot. So that's one way that we've been able to help a lot of clients just save from the SMS costs.
That's great. Well, we've got your slides here. Do you want to go ahead and show us some of the features?
Absolutely. Let's go into here. Let me go ahead and here we go. So as I was mentioning before, right, the core of the system itself, and this is where kind of like the task management comes in, okay? We built the task management solution really to be like the backbone of the system. So there really isn't anything that you do in the system that doesn't go through the task management solution. And that's where really like the accountability comes into place. You can have accountability in your workspace. So if you operate in a way today that you walk into your operation, or if you're working there and maybe you're using a whiteboard, right? Maybe that's the way that you're keeping track of things. Maybe you're just doing everything on pen and paper. If you really wanted to have like a bird's eye view of everything, this is the way that we've built the solution, where just everything kind of really flows out of the task management. So that really is the core of the system there. This slide here I put together to kind of explain a little bit of what I mentioned about the software architecture, how we start off with the building blocks of the system, and then that helps us to build a sound foundation. And then from the foundation, we can get into a solid structure, and it gives us the ability to scale from there and then grow really big. So one of the unique things that we do with the software itself, right, as you see here on this screen, is that when we sign up a new customer and we start working together, the first thing that we do within the operation itself is we map all of their enclosures, right? So anywhere within your facility where you would normally have a pet holding area, or you would stay with the pet overnight, we go ahead and we map it into the software, and we name them exactly what you name them in your facility. So if it's a suite, if you call it a tree house, if you call it a cabin, right? We kind of follow those guidelines that you give us. And then basically we put everything into the software, and then we assign a QR code, right? And as technology evolves, right? When we first started doing this, I think I have one here. I have a little tag here, right? So when we first did the system, the first version of the system, and it's still available today, is that we use these tags, and these tags have a chip inside of them. And it's very similar to the chip that you use to pay by phone nowadays, right? Where you tap your phone or you tap your credit card for payment. So we used to basically take our mobile devices within the operation itself, and we would tap our devices on this tag. And then by doing so, it would bring up like a virtual chart of the of the kennel. So like your kennel card, right? That's what so we would pull up. So, but then we moved on to QR codes because QR codes just give us the ability to do things for a lot lower cost, right? It's a lot more affordable for you to print QR codes than it is to invest into chip technology. So today we offer the ability for our customers to print these QR codes directly from our platform. So you don't have to spend money on getting these done anywhere. You can literally print off your printer. If you want to laminate them, you can. But the idea would be that you would put one next to every single one of your enclosures. And whenever we want to track anything or we want to get any jobs completed, we would basically go scan it with our mobile phone within our operations app, and then we could see exactly what's going on in real time, right, inside that kennel. And this is basically the view here that you would get. This is one of the views that you'd get from the app. Okay. So the next thing that we would do after we map your facility is that we would sit down with our customers, and then we ask them, what are your daily activities? What do you do every single day to every active kennel or to every pet that's under your care, right? And then we go into the software and we kind of put in all these tasks, and we break our tasks into two different categories. They're basically considered to be dedicated tasks, or they're considered to be global tasks. Global are the tasks that you do every day. So basically, it'll be your feedings, wellness checks, what you see here on the screen, right? Your maybe your play rotation, refilling the water bowls, right? And then we consider dedicated tasks to be those things that are more designed just for a few pets. So basically, if somebody did pay for additional services, then you can assign a dedicated task for additional services to that enclosure. If there was medication, right, that was needed to be administered here, you could also have a medication task assigned. And then, so what happens is that once we put that into the software, every time that you activate a kennel by placing a dog within that enclosure, then we auto-populate these tasks every day, right, for as long as they stay with you. And as your staff completes these tasks, they automatically get taken off the list as if you're just going to cross them off, but in an electronic way. And then we timestamp the staff member that completed the task. And then we also show you how much work each employee is doing on a given shift, on a given day. And with that, like, we just have a lot of analytics behind it because everything is kind of going, tracked by the software. And this is where, when you're setting it up on the software, it's optional, right? But if you want to, you can have some of these tasks go directly to the pet parent, because we do have a pet parent app that links to the store, and they're able to see in real time. Again, some locations don't want to share that, and that's okay. It really comes down to the way you operate. But if you do, we do offer you the ability of doing that directly from the software. You do also see on here that there's a store icon through the pet parent app, and I'll show you guys in just a few seconds here. There's a way that your pet parents can buy items from an online store that you manage within your facility. And then the items can be delivered to the pets, and you can then take photos, videos of the pets enjoying a treat, a service that a pet parent might have purchased. And then you can send it back to the pet parent for them to be able to see and enjoy the fact that their pet was given the service of the treat. And last but not least, as you see that panic mode button on there, we created that on behalf of a customer that had asked us to. So basically, if you run into any issues at your pet care facility, if there's any trouble, if there's any emergencies, it really comes down to how you operate and how you would activate this. But basically, whenever you do tap on that panic button, it makes all the devices that are logged into the system, they kind of go off with an alarm, and it gives the last known location and the person who was that activated it. So again, could be used for a number of reasons, but and it's there if it's ever needed. So that's what that panic mode does.
We had somebody ask in the chat if there's a way to actually see a live demo while we're on this live today. Is that possible, or is that something?
It's possible. Let me just run through real quick the rest of the slides, and then I'll log into the app. I can show my app on the screen, so that should be a way for us to do it. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So this is the Pet Parent app right here. The Pet Parent app, as I said, it does link over to the store app and the store operation. So you can receive live updates of the items that are completed with the pet. So in this case here, you can see there was an agility class update that was sent. There's a little note there saying, hey, very sunny today. We enjoyed, the time in the pool. Underneath that is a video of the dog in the pool. And one thing that we offer too is a curbside service. And we created this during COVID, right? Where some of our locations wanted to provide curbside operation where you can notify the store that you're outside with the pet by tapping on that curbside icon there, which is a little car on the bottom. And then the store gets notified inside, and then they know which car, make, and model that is been driven by the pet parent, and that way they can come out and bring the pet out for that. The retail store is the next slide that I'm going to show you, but basically you can do marketing from this app as well. You can send pictures and videos of treats and services that you want to offer to the pet parent. It's an option. They can pay with a credit card on file, and they can see the history of all their events here as well. Okay. This is the actual store, the store, online store. So basically all the items that go into the store, all of the verbiage that goes in here, it's all managed by the facility. On our back end, on the software side, you're able to kind of manage all of this. You put in your own photos, your own pricing. Once a purchase is made, the store app is notified immediately once a purchase is made, and then by tapping on the icon, it shows you what pet should receive the treat or the service, which in this case here on the far right, you guys can see that it's a peanut ice cream that was purchased for Bubba, right? And this is the point where then you would then be able to take a picture or a video of Bubba enjoying. You take up to 4 pictures, send a note, and send it back to the pet parent, really just to complete that circle. And so the pet parents can enjoy that time as well. Okay. And the last thing that I wanted to touch base on before we dive into the software is basically here. This is what I was mentioning about the integrated messaging platform. So everything that you see on here could be accomplished by text messaging, right? But because we offer the app at the store level, we also offer the app for the pet parents. We're able to make the communication from end to end without having to use text messages. So we can do push notifications. So push notifications is just like the way that today, like you would receive a message from maybe like your bank saying, hey, a deposit was made to your account, or you got it from like maybe like where you ordered food from, saying, hey, your delivery, it's on its way. It's the same type of messaging system. It's within the app. Doesn't cost anything to do that. But we also offer the ability for the staff to communicate amongst themselves. So if you're working at the office and you wanted to communicate with someone who's out around the kennels or maybe on the play yards, you can send them a message from the computer and say, hey, can you stop by? I want you to pick something up. And they can respond within the app. You can send pictures and videos within the app as well. Carry on a two-way communication with the pet parent if you had to. Get those live updates, as I mentioned. And then you can send group messages. So for instance, if you had a bunch of dogs in the play yard, you can literally take one picture of all the dogs in the play yard, and then you can say, hey, I want to send these pictures to all of my in-house daycare only. And then we would filter that within our database and send it only to the daycare parents. It would look like you took an individual photo of each of the group and sent it to each pet parent, but it really was just one message, and it saved you a lot of time, right, by doing so. And then again, marketing is one way that you can do too. Like if you're having a special like dinner, if it's like a holiday period and you wanted to send a photo of the dinner and say, hey, I have this treat available. It's first come, first serve. If you want, just go to the store and buy it. That's one way as well that you can use it. So that's, again, just covering all the messaging options that you have without having to have the added costs. That's amazing. So what we can do now, if you guys want, I will log into the app. Hang on one second, okay? I got to launch a little piece of software here so I can display my phone on the app. So hang on a second.
What I'm going to do is remove the slides.
Yes.
So that you can share your screen with the other.
Yep.
That'd be perfect. Yep. So I'm just excited by the new technology that this is based on, and how efficient it is as far as the transparency to the pet parent, as well as the efficiency for the staff. And you're right, when you're, being able to take a picture and have it go to multiple dog or pet parents with the click of a button versus having to attach it to individual report cards or send individual text messages. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it does save a lot of time. And again, I kind of credit that to listening to our customers. So that's one thing that I do want to point out. We are good at listening. So if you have pain points and you want to discuss it, let's talk about it, right? I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to let you know how we can make it pain free, right? I consider myself to be like a friction expert, right? I like to remove friction from operations, being from the hospitality side. I like to see things run smooth and make it really a great experience overall for the customer and then for the pet as well. So I was able to pull up the app here. Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. See. Oh, Carrie, I think that you could show it. It's still showing that I'm sharing the screen. So I'm gonna. I think if you send it there, we'll be able to see it.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. Hmm.
Oh, okay. So let me do this. Let me stop and let me do it again because I think I might have selected only to do that one window. So let's go back over here. Go.
There
All
we
right.
go.
All right. Yep. So this is my app right here, right? It's on my phone. This is the app that's installed at the facility. So this is what you would work with at the location, right, within your business itself. Um, so you have different areas of it here. Every location may not use everything that's on here, but so the bind area is basically where you do your runs, is where you assign a pet to a location. Checkout literally means checkout, where you're taking somebody out of the system. The request and dismiss, we do offer, and this kind of came over from a little bit from the shelter space, where you have that counter service where somebody could go up to a counter and then you could request a pet from the counter, and then the dismissal will then happen from the counter as well. So it goes from we kind of consider that to be kind of like a dispatch, where there's somebody working at a desk and they go out and they get the the pets. The invoices are there. The task is there. Drop off. This is where basically you're gonna see when somebody does a curbside request. That's what that shows you, right? So it tells you how long they've been out there, the make and model and the color of the car there. And the way that works, at the first time that they put in the make and model of their vehicle, we'll remember for next time, right? Unless they're bringing a different car second time around. And then there's your appointments. On the bottom right here, the little icon with the messaging, that really is the staff messaging here, right? Where you get to communicate back and forth, within the staff itself. The hamburger menu all the way to the right. This is more of the internal settings in the system, where this is where you can do a little bit of your marketing. As I mentioned, you can send a text, right? So you can write anything you want on here, hello. And then here, I could then select what type of service I want to send this message to. So do I want to send it to my boarding clients, to my daycare clients, daycare grooming, daycare VIP, right? So these categories are set up when we do the onboarding. And then basically you'd select who you want to send it to. And then here, you can also break it down by different types of animals, right? Another filter there. And then do I want to send it, just to one pet, or, if I wanted to send an individual message, I could do that as well from there, and then, hit send. And then same thing goes with pictures, right? I could literally take, photos here, and then it's the same concept. I select what type of group I want to send it to. So that option is there as well. And then this is the view that you get for the kennels from within the operations app. Right here, it's giving me a list. This is just basically a preview. It's showing me here on the left in blue which type of service these pets are signed up for. As you can see, most of them here are mostly daycare, right? There's Lucas all the way at the bottom there is here for boarding, but everybody else is for daycare. And then we can see on the right side on that little box, it's basically showing you what was the last task that was completed and the time and the employee that completed it. So on number 3 here, we have Able. I'm gonna go ahead and click on Able's um, icon there. And then so we bring this area right here, okay? So basically it's telling me the items that still need to be completed for Able. So as you see, there's 3 dedicated, which are the blue, right? These are specific only for Able. And then the reds are the ones that are for all the kennels, right? These automatically get um, um, they recreate themselves every 24 hours, okay? And then we can get very granular with the tasks. For instance, like if I was gonna tap on this feeding, you see the little hamburger menu? That means that it's a multi-level task. So if I tap on there, right? So it's asking me, okay, you're doing feeding. So what time of the day? So I'm gonna say, you know what? It's afternoon right now. So I'm gonna do afternoon feeding. And then it's coming up, hey, what kind of how are you providing this food? Is it a cup? Is it a scoop? Is it pre-measured? I'm gonna say that it's a scoop, okay? And then it's asking me how many, and I'll say 2, right? And then basically, are you sure? Yes. And then right there, so it's showing that I just fed this afternoon with 2 scoops, timestamp, and my name would go on there, and then the task basically disappeared. And if I was doing like the kennel cleaning, that one's just a simple tap on there, and so on and so forth, right? I For every task that I complete, I can take a picture, I can send a note with it as well. So again, you can get very granular in how you want to operate, or if you want to operate, just in a standard way, you can do that too.
We do have a couple of questions that have come in, and I don't
Mhm.
know if it's something you haven't gotten to yet, but I'll throw them out there and then you can answer them as you want. The first was that can SyncPet incorporate existing facility webcams within the app?
So right now, we have well, I'm not gonna say I have the ability, but we have spoken to Doggy Cam. Remember, they go out to the trade show a lot. They go to most of the trade show we go to. We've spoken to them, and that's one option that we have to integrate with. They're open to do the integration. Unless we were able to do an integration with your existing company, there wouldn't be any way for us to put a feed in there. But yes, we are open to doing that if you'd be interested in doing so. If you work with an existing company, we can talk to them and see if we can integrate it directly into the software so you can see it. If not, we can see what kind of system you have, and we would certainly entertain the ability to be able to do that integration.
And then another person asked, who is behind your integrated credit card payment processing?
All
And
right.
then can
Yeah.
you also show some of the custom reports was another question.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, the way that we do the credit card processing, we work with one processor. It's called Transaction Services. They're based out of Atlanta, right? It's the company that we decided to partner with for that. They're competitive. They will either beat or match your existing credit card processing prices, but most of the times they'll beat it, right? But it's one company that we work with, but it does give us a lot of flexibility, like I said, as far as like the technology goes, where your clients are able to pay. You can send them a text message if you want to with a link to pay online. They can pay, through their phone. They can pay through a web browser. They can pay in person. Or if you like, you don't have to have a point of sale with our solution. If you wanted to run it on your PC, you could. If you wanted to add a credit card reader, you could. If you wanted to do just web payments, you could. So we're very flexible from that aspect.
Great. Um, what kind of customer support do you all have? Or is there, training that is available when somebody first converts to the software?
Yes. So for the support aspect, after somebody has already been onboarded, right? We work with the ticketing system. And one thing that I do want to highlight is that, again, just being from a software background, we've seen where sometimes customer would call in for support and they really wanted some minor things that needed to be changed, right? So on our platform, we developed a way where a lot of the system settings are available by permissions. So if you have the right permission, like if you're a super admin, or if you wanted to make one of your managers to have the permission to do so, we have a lot of the settings there that you can change on your own, like your store hours, your logo, A lot of the settings, like creating employees, it can be done directly by the facility. Creating custom roles, because certain roles within the system itself will have privileges, and then given permission. So basically, once I create an employee in the system, I say, hey, I want this employee to have the role of a tech. A tech can work with the operations app, but a tech cannot work in the back office. So if they try to log on to the web portal to see things over there, they won't have access to that, right? So all those permission bases are there. As far as the training goes, we adopt the train the trainer method. So our process is that you select a champion or a few champions on your side that want to learn the system, and we really believe in having like a subject matter expert within the operation, someone that really knows the system really well. So we train that trainer, or we train those trainers within your facility, and then they can go on with training your staff. If you require on-site training, yes, we offer that as well, but it is an added cost. It doesn't come with the system, and the cost for that would be really just the travel fees and anything associated with us being at your facility.
Since we're talking about cost, what is the pricing model for the software? And are there any different plans available, based on like
Yeah,
a business size or their needs?
absolutely. So since everything within our system, as I mentioned earlier, kind of intertwines with the task management, we do offer a standalone task management solution. Okay, so that's like our lowest price offering. Then our website, by the way, has all the prices on it. It's syncpet.com. We're transparent with the price, and everything's listed on there. But basically starts with a standalone solution for task management. Then you can go on to coupling task management with different modules. Like if you wanted to add task management with just boarding, task management with boarding and daycare, right? So based on how many different modules you select, the prices, will go up a little bit. But the most expensive item that we have is $149 a month. That's a plan that we offer, and it's really like everything that we do within that. It's all the modules within that price range.
So if somebody wanted to get a more in-depth demo, what's the best way for them to reach out and get a
Um,
demo scheduled with you?
that's a great question, Carrie. Basically through our website. If you just go to our website, www.syncpet.com, there's a scheduled demo icon there on the bottom right. You just click on that, and then it'll pull up a scheduler, like a calendar with some times and dates. And then you just go in there, schedule, and then we'll be in touch. It'll reply back to you with an email giving you instructions for the demo. And it's basically just a web link, and it'll be very similar to what we're doing here today. Just going through the motions of the software, and we'll take longer going through every item and answering more questions. But yeah, basically it'll be very similar to what we're doing today.
Just for my own clarification, there's the apps that are on the phone, both for kind of the back office, the text, and then you've got the store and the pet parent app. But is
Yes.
there a desktop version that somebody can sign into that they see a little bit more integration, or where, say, reports would be for the business owner?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's a back end to it as well, right? That we offer. Let me see if I can pull it up here for you guys to see real quick before we get off. I know the time is running out. So yeah. So let me go ahead and share this other screen. Okay, I'm gonna take this one off the app and I'm gonna create a new one. Okay, hang on a second.
Okay.
Stop the screen here and then present again. Share screen. Are you able to see that?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yep. So this is the back end right here, right, of the software itself. So as soon as you log in, the first thing you get is basically like some KPIs. This is a dashboard just giving you some data. So basically how many pets are in for today, how many pets came out, how many pet parents have an active license with the pet parent app. So we track that for you. How many pets you have like in your database, how many appointments for the day, how many invoices were issued, basically how much revenue you've collected and how much it's open. And then down here we're really going over like basically like your actions by user. This will break down again following like your tasks. So what employees have completed what for the day, the amount of transactions that they've completed, and then actions by events, right? So the different type of events that they're doing. To the left side here, as you guys saw earlier on the app, right, there was one curbside drop off that was pending. So this web app is really mimicking everything that you see on the operations app. There was some invoices that were open. There was, so here we have pets pending approval. So basically part of our reservation system, you can ask for pets to be approved, like kind of like an interview process. So that's what those pets pending approvals are. But then you have here appointments pending approval. So you approve your appointments. And then outstanding appointments today, those that have not occurred. These SMS comms, this is for the communication portion that I had mentioned to you guys, where you can send messages back and forth from the platform. The bind area, this is where you would do your runs. The map, this is a virtual map of the facility. So basically, it gives you every enclosure that you would have, like where we've mapped it, and everything that's got the red border. Those are the active kennels right now. Okay, so that's on there. Go back one in here. And then the task view, it's exactly the way that you guys saw it on the phone, but this is just a bigger version of it here. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that we are also able to keep track of tasks from a facility perspective. So if you wanted to use it in a way where you wanted to track, cleaning, turning off the lights, yard work that needed to be done. So those things are available here as well. You can track that, within your facility too. Again, you can get so granular with the task management. And then the system settings, as I mentioned to you guys, like all the settings are here. You put in your groomers, your different groups, like which was like your boarding, your daycare. We do have automated reports that go out through email every day. The pet parent storage managed through here, your payment methods, the different roles, and then reports. I know that's something you guys wanted to go over. So I have a commission report, a curbside report, employee performance, just a lot of different reports, task compliance. There's revenue reports as well. Reports just on your invoices. There's just, again, a lot of different data that we can share.
Wonderful. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, if I could say one last thing is that again, we are flexible. If you guys have needs that maybe other companies haven't been able to work with you on, or again, maybe they're just too busy, I would love to hear your pain points. And if I can help in any way, I'll be more than happy to chat and see how we be able to work together.
Anderson, thank you so much for being with us today. This has just been very informative, and I'm really excited about your product. So, somebody else just asked, can you customize the look and feel of your program to sort of match somebody's brand or colors?
As it is right now, what we can do is like we can customize some areas of it, like the reservation page. Like we can put your logo, we can put your colors on there. There isn't a ton of it that we can do from the visual of the app as it is now, other than like branding it with your logo and stuff like that. But again, we are open to working with customers, and if they wanted to do like customized solution, we'd be more than happy to discuss it.
All righty. Well, I just have a couple of last minute announcements, and that is that the daycare games are coming up in February, and you have until tomorrow to register. So if you are still waffling back and forth, or you've just forgotten to register your team, please go to the website and sign your team up. There are just a few spots left, and this is always so exciting because we get a lot of demand, and then we have to cap it at 100 facilities. So, so please take a moment to click on the link there that's in the chat. And the other is that we do have a Facebook group. So if you are looking to have a place where you can, ask questions and just get answers from peers and others in the industry, if there's pain points that you're talking about and you want to know somebody else around the country is experiencing the same thing, that is our Grow Your Pet Care Business Facebook group. And I'm going to put the link in the chat for that. And then we just have 2 rules. You have to be nice, and we ask that you don't try to sell anything. So that's a great community. There's thousands of members that are in there. And I know just from following it myself, I love to see all the exchange and ideas and questions and answers that go on. So so with that, I will thank you again, Anderson, for being with us. And if people have any questions, what's the best way just to reach out through the website, syncpet.com?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be the easiest way to do it. And it will come directly to me, my team, and we'll be reaching out right away. And thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I really enjoyed my time, and I'm looking forward to doing this again.
Okay. My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye bye.